Hey, welcome to Mad English TV. Look at this sentence. We will have eaten all the food by the time he arrives. Which verb tense do you think this is? Will have eaten. You're right. It's the future perfect verb tense. Okay, so to make the future perfect, we use the word will plus have plus our strange verbs called past participles, like eaten, gone, been, woken. This is what happens in the future perfect tense. We go from the present, now, to a future point in time, and then we look back into the past. Okay? So we're there right now, but we sort of pretend that we're in a future point in time, and then we're looking back. Okay, so it looks a little bit confusing, but it's actually not very confusing at all. So here's an example. On Monday, we will have been married for 50 years. Okay, so this is what's happening. Me and you are talking right now. Okay, let's say we're really old and we're married. Okay, so I could say, on Monday, we will have been married for 50 years. Okay, so I'm sort of imagining that I'm here now and then looking back into the past. Okay, so that's how the future perfect works. Here's another example. Let's say this guy says, if I pick you up at 6 a.m., will you be ready? And this guy says, no, I won't have woken up by then. Okay, will not, won't means will not have woken. There we have our future perfect tense. Okay, so at 6 a.m., he's going to be sleeping. Okay, he won't have woken up yet. We don't know when he's going to wake up, but we know that he won't have woken up in this period over here. Okay, but if he said, I will have woken up by 6 a.m., then he will have woken up sometime in this period. We don't know when. Maybe 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock, maybe 5:55, okay? But sometime in here, he will have woken up. Okay, so it means any time before this. If he will or if he won't, it both means this time here. Okay, so one important thing I want to point out is that when we use the future perfect tense, this point in the future is in the simple present, not the simple future. Okay, so the verb that happens here is a simple present verb, not a simple future verb. Okay, that can be a little bit confusing. Why is it simple present and not simple future? Well, it's because we're sort of imagining that we're here already. So we're talking in the present because we're imagining that we're here. We will have eaten all the food by the time he arrives. Okay, the point in the future is by the time he arrives. So that's a present verb, right? It's not a future verb. It's not by the time he will arrive. Okay, remember that. It's just the present. Now, in this example, on Monday, we will have been married for 50 years. There's no present tense verb here on Monday because there's no verb there. It's just a day, right? On Monday, we will have been married for 50 years. So here we have will have been. There we have again our future perfect tense. Remember in the last lesson on the past perfect, I said you could choose which part of the sentence you want to have first. It's your choice. Okay, so look at this. We will have eaten all the food by the time he arrives. We could switch this and put this at the beginning, okay, like this. By the time he arrives, we will have eaten all the food. Okay, it's your choice. Again, for this one, we could say, we will have been married for 50 years on Monday. Okay, you can move on Monday over here. It's your choice. Okay, let's take a look at this example. Our company had grown 10% before the stock market crashed. since the crash, it's grown 8%. I'm hoping that it will have grown another 8% by the end of next year. Okay, so here we have all our perfect verbs. We have the past perfect, had grown. We have the present perfect, has grown. And we have the future perfect, will have grown. Okay, so this is a good example. You can see how all of them sort of work together. Okay, so here's what this means. Our company had grown 10% before the stock market crashed, okay? The stock market crashed, then since the crash, it's grown 8%, and I'm hoping that by the end of next year, it will have grown another 8%, okay? So let's look at another example here. This guy says, "Can I call you at 1 p.m.?" That guy says, "I won't have finished the exam by then, but I should be done by 2. Okay, so they're talking before this guy takes an exam. Right? These guys are talking, and that guy asks, "Can I call you at 1 o'clock?" And he says, "No, I won't have finished the exam by then, but I should be done by 2 o'clock. Okay? So where is our future perfect verb? Can you see it? It's right here. I will not have finished. Okay, remember, will not can sort of be shortened to won't. That's called a contraction. Anytime we have this little apostrophe here, it's called a contraction when we sort of make two words into one. Okay, here's another example. I booked my tickets for July 3rd. I'm hoping my visa will have been approved by then. Okay, so someone booked their tickets before they got the visa to that country. Okay, that might be a little bit risky. I mean, what if you don't get the visa? Then you can't go, and you might not get your money back from the airline, okay? So I booked my tickets for July 3rd. That's our future point in time. I'm hoping my visa will have been approved by then. Okay, so here's another example. I will have grown at least an inch by the time I see you next. Okay, so let's say a boy is talking to his grandpa, okay? And this boy's family is moving to another country, but they're gonna come back and visit. They're just not sure when. Okay, so this boy could say, I will have grown at least an inch by the time I see you next, Grandpa. Okay, so this is what's happening. I see you next, that's our future point in time. Okay? Will have grown. Sometime in here, he will have grown at least an inch. Okay, so let's do some homework. I want you to make a sentence with the future perfect tense. Sometimes this can be a little bit tricky. Give it a shot. If it's wrong, I'll tell you that it's wrong and I'll tell you how you can make it a little bit better. I'll give you an example. Okay, so by the time you do this homework, I will probably have fallen asleep already. Okay, there you have it. Okay, see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.